So this is an initiative that we share together with the Italian Cultural Society because when essentially my husband and I, when we retire for our technical professions, he's an economist and I'm a physicist, we decided, having lived in the US over 30 years and having being strongly rooted in Italy because that's where we are from and we have properties and history, etc., to build this bridge between these two cultures. And of course, when we met Francesca and the wonderful Italian Cultural Society, we said it looks like we are just made for each other. And so last year we did the first tour. We organize weekly tours and so what we do is that we have a beautiful villa, but it's not just that. So we organize these personalized tours to the guests who come and who agree on a specific itinerary. And we offer a combination of activities, what the best of Tuscany, the best ever in the world, the art, the history, the food, the wines. And in Tuscany, there is a lot to see and taste. And at the same time, because the people who are enrolled at the ICS obviously have a particular interest in the Italian culture and language, then we mix together the Italian language classes and full immersion. And Francesca is very tough. When you're home and eating at the table, she said Italian. She makes everybody speak Italian, and she's a fantastic educator because she manages to put together all these different levels and then make a lot of progress.
But don't scare people who are worried that they won't be able to be understood if they're weak a little bit on Italian.
Yeah. Okay, no, we speak English all the time. I was just saying that Francesca is having fun, saying, no, don't limit your Italian immersion to the class. Have fun, and try to insert 2 or 3. She was actually teaching one new word every day, and in a very light and fun way. So no, she's not tough. I was kidding.
You probably heard our testimonial from last year. There are 2 of our member students who came to the trip, and so then they can.
So we invited them to come over and to share their experience of last year with you. So this is the core idea is to stay in a place that feels like a home. It's a villa, it's a home. And it's only you won't have other guests to come from wherever. It's just your group, and nobody we at the beginning we were giving keys to everybody. Nobody was locking anything. They were saying I feel at home. At the same time, the villa is at a level that is like an hotel, so every room has the bathroom is new, the furniture is antique, but the air conditioning is very cutting edge. In fact, my air conditioning there is much better than the one I have in New York City, Manhattan. I can tell you, works way better. It's less noisy. It has a much better thermostat. So it's a place that has a lot of privacy because it's really located in the middle of nowhere. But so you feel like you own the place because you don't have any neighbors. You are just seeing miles and miles and miles of intact countryside with a medieval castle just in front of you and buildings from the Middle Ages and nothing modern. But at the same time, you're close to almost everything. So so we are near the Brunello area, the Brunello of Montalcino wine area. We are near the Nobile of Montepulciano. We are close to the Chianti area. So these 3 major wines of Tuscany are, at completely accessible. So we can go in the morning with our drivers and our cars and vans. We can go there and come back home at night. And so feeling always that there is a place where you go back to. And again, almost every day, there is longer or shorter classes. Yes.
I asked my question.
Yes. If it matters right now, I think you can do it now. Okay, but there will be definitely time for questions. And so a little bit of our unique features. Our villa is a 14th century villa, and it has this historic charm, but we modernized it in a way that we didn't really touch the charm, the charm of the villa, but at the same time is extremely comfortable. And, you know, our friends were there nodding, doing this. And so we have also some unique things. I work on climate change for 30 years. So I do as I preach. So there is also the air condition is also powered by photovoltaic and also solar panels for the heating system. But of course, there is also gas. But you know, we try to have the lowest environmental impact and climate footprint as we can, carbon footprint. Another special thing of this house is on top of a hill, so it's also very sufficiently breezy that it's never too hot. When, you know, in the cities can be hot at the end of August, there is always cool because there is a breeze. And it has fantastic views. I mean, this is, even people from Tuscany, when they come, they say, oh my God, you know, can I take a picture? So, I mean, this is a very high standard. We also have a library with a collection of antique books that my father collected throughout his life. And we have authentic 18th century European furniture. But it doesn't break. You can sit in there without being worried that it falls into pieces, but actually it's authentic. So it is as comfortable as an hotel, but it's much more because it has this authenticity and this kind of level that generally people don't like to give away to strangers. And in our case, you're not strangers, so that's why we can share it with you. We also have a fantastic pool that shares the beautiful view. Even at the ground level, you have the view. And we changed the technology. So everything technical is cutting edge. So also the swimming pool has a new system with salt technology that is not salty. It's very, very, very little salty, but that allows, you know, when you swim, the water is more pleasant on your skin, on your eyes. You can swim with your eyes open. So this is an idea on how the rooms look like. They keep this look of, you know, an antique villa, but I didn't, you know, I'm a little obsessed with my bathrooms because I designed them, but I spared you from making pictures of the bathrooms. The bathrooms are really, really beautiful, and they're new, but they look antique because we put tiles that were hand painted. So it gives you this look that has always belonged there, but in reality they're new. Every room has a bathroom, which in the Middle Ages didn't happen like that. So believe me, there were just some changes. So every room has its own private bathroom, and everything is technically, yeah, this gives you an idea, but it's impossible to photograph the beauty of this pool. So when the good thing about my website and also this presentation is everybody tells me, but this looks better than the website, which is, I mean, I think it's the best compliment that people can give you, because, you know, you're not overselling. It's really a natural beauty. And, you know, we were lucky that I got it from my family, and this is just what it is. So an idea of the tours we're doing, as I was saying, we discussed the itinerary with Francesca. So we put together a week in which you have a little time, some time for the Italian lessons. They're really lots of fun. I've seen it. It's really an enjoyable time, besides being helpful, because allows you to, you know, to have a stronger immersion. And there are also the cities, as you can see in this list. We took out Florence because, you know, everybody has been there, is less we like to show you a little bit more of a secret Tuscany. And so there are places that are more known, like San Gimignano, Siena, but Arezzo is already less known. Montalcino, besides the wine, it's also a very interesting place. Pienza was built as the perfect city, and is the first example of urban planning in the human history. And Trequanda, well, it's also a little gem, and so you will really discover things that all my American friends tell me, take me somewhere where nobody else, where no other tourists are going, and there will be many places like that. Although, as you can see here in the Duomo of Siena, there are some beauties that you have to see. So we put together the more known and less known.
Especially with a great guide that explains you. Here at the Italian Cultural Society, we had a lecture just on the Pavimento di Siena, on this marble floor that is most of the time covered to protect it from tourists. And the last week of August, when we are there, it's uncovered for just a couple of months. It's uncovered, right?
Only 2 months ago.
And so when we go to Siena, we have a fantastic guide who explains us everything. And so just for that, it's worth to see this beauty because it's unique in the world. And so we have the opportunity with a small group and a perfect guide to illustrate this. Same for Arezzo, we had a fantastic guide, and everywhere there is the guide.
Yes, one of the fun things in setting up this initiative with my husband, we tested the guides before you. We tasted the wines before you. So we went and we checked all these different guides, and we chose the best ones. So the guides, the English-speaking guides you have been selected by us, and so it's the top level. You had a question.
Guide in English.
The guides are in English. Again, as I was saying, Francesca, because she is an excellent educator, she can help to help you to facilitate as much as she can optimizing the experience, but essentially is the 1 or 2 hours of lessons, of Italian lessons, and then the rest is all in English, to be honest. But if you want to try to speak, she helps you.
Some in the group,
some people like
speak to me in English and take advantage, and I answered in English, and
yes,
but other
of course,
people speak in English, and that's fine. Whoever wants to speak in Italian, I'm glad to reinforce the conversation all day long, but it's not absolutely a requirement.
No, and again, these are all they're local, so they know the technically. Some of them, my lead guide for Siena and Pienza, she's a PhD in art history, but she speaks beautiful English, with a little bit of accent, which is normal, but speaks very well and can answer any question. So the 2 wineries we picked for this tour are the Brunello di Montalcino, because how can you not, right? How can you not go and taste Brunello? That's a must. And also there is we have a family winery, and for some reason, everybody who comes to this trip tells us that was my favorite day. Because the guy that on the photo is my nephew Cesare. He's my husband has a winery, owns with his brothers and sisters a winery in Tuscany. He comes from a famous family, and this young man is managing it practically. His father delegated to him. So you have this young person, extremely dedicated, who explains to you what it means to be an organic wine producer, and he's so into it, and he also has traveled, speaks English, etc. So we gave you two different, the more industrial, more famous, and the other more niche, a smaller that also has a taste, because we take you to our mansion where there is also a special surprise in terms of art. That you will see.
I thought that you were mentioning, you were thinking about the lunch. That was a surprise, because I was about to say that.
Yes,
actually,
say.
The best lunch, it was at this place with wine pairing. Of course, we tried 5 different wines. without, none of us was drunk, right? So we managed to be,
And
And-
it's enjoyable if you didn't drink.
even if you didn't
Yes,
drink wine.
yes.
Exactly. We had one person not drinking wine
And still enjoyed it.
perfectly in heaven. And we were really, that lunch was so delicate, so sophisticated with the wine appeared. That was a great day.
And at the same time was simple and based on
Sì.
local produce. So was this
Sì,
combination.
sì.
We essentially, that's a little bit our philosophy, to give you the authenticity of the place, but with a level of sophistication, because you can have a lot of rural rustic experiences. So we wanted to give you a little more elegant experience in Tuscany. So here you can see our friends of the Italian Cultural Society, with also Francesca and the group doing a cooking class. And so we at home at the villa, you have most meals at the villa. Of course, all the breakfast. We have a very nice buffet for breakfast, and we have a local chef that cooks for us. But on the last night, on Friday, we invite a more famous chef who does a cooking class in English and teaches you to make pasta with your hands. And you will eat that dinner along the pool, and you won't believe it, because I'm not a cook. I really don't know almost anything, how to make anything, and I couldn't believe I could make the pasta by myself. I never did it, and I did it, and I said, "Oh my God, I made this, and it's edible." You will be surprised too.
Yeah, that's
Yes, and so.
Yes, and then we have Italian class, and that this actually last year we didn't. It's us. Last year we included that. Then we thought, well, but how about if a couple comes and one really wants to learn Italian and the other one just wants to relax by the pool, reading another book, not in Italian, or already knows Italian perfectly, so it's enough to just converse with me without any classes. Fine, this is possible. But last year everybody wanted to take Italian, so we start the day after breakfast with the Italian class, either 1 hour or 2 hours, and then we go for our excursion. And then when we come back, sometimes we come back for dinner, or sometimes we have dinner out, either lunch or dinner are in the villa. But when we come, usually if it's not after dinner, we have time for a swim. I swim every day. There is time for everything.
Yeah.
There is a time for everything, time for Italian classes and time for relax, enjoy the pool like I did, or Joe took walks every morning. I saw it when I opened my windows, my shutters. He was coming back from his morning walk. So everybody, because it's a beautiful private forest.
Yes, it's a gated
so
large property, so you can walk around the olive grove and etc. So
yeah, early morning person, you can start your day by swimming or walking. Then we meet for breakfast. Then we have Italian class.
Wonderful breakfast out under the
Out
on the patio.
Yeah.
With the food every morning, a perfect way to start the
Yes.
day.
So we always had breakfast and eat lunch or dinner at under the pergola outdoor. It never rained. So when only one day, but that was we were at the restaurant. So we always had lunch and breakfast and dinner outdoor. But in case indoor is where we take our Italian class. It's a beautiful. There is even un'armatura.
yes, an armor. Yes.
Yeah, in this beautiful part of the villa, that's where we take our Italian class or lunch and dinner if it rains outside. And yeah, and so we usually do grammar of review, basics, and then also we read about Siena or something that we are going to see, some art history. Just basic. I don't want to overwhelm your experience, but in l'arte gotica senese, it's one of the readings, so you learn some of the main things, a masterpiece that we see. So there are also some readings, so that for advanced levels are great, and beginners level just they can read and be translate at the same time. Question?
Yes.
Thank you. Sounds great. Is there an opportunity? I mean, I understand you're going out around. I guess I'm wondering if that kind of structure of learning is incorporated into the field trips, where I'm like frankly, forced to use what I've been studying comfortably here to get something done. You know, you put me at a table where no one's, everyone's Italian and no one speaks English, or I don't know, make me find a way in the subway. Is there anything that sort of challenges me to take my studies and have them sink in? Because I'm afraid I'll like go to class, then go to the pool and.
No. Then you are around at the restaurant, you pick, you choose what you want to have. You can speak with a guide, you can speak in English or in Italian. You can, you can choose.
So all day.
I want to speak Italian or I want to speak English, and then we go around. We have a guide with us, but if people wants to go around, also for example in Siena, or we had time to go for shopping, and everybody, and we divided, and so somebody went to have a gelato, others went to go shopping. So, and
as a beginner, I think I'm afraid that I'll fall back in my English,
no, it depends on you.
I have to say, yes, questions, more
I
questions.
was just going to say, I speak maybe one word in Italian and was taking the classes and learned something, but I was not lost anywhere else.
Yes.
I don't speak much Italian still.
Did you hear what she said from, I don't know if the people online heard her.
Can you hear from our audience, or
Otherwise I'll repeat what she said.
Yes.
What you say in the chat? Can you hear our public speaking or no?
Jay.
Who's answering in the chat? You at home?
Io sono Thomas Marchetto.
Maybe they hear.
Okay, just anyway, she said a guest who came last year was saying that she doesn't speak any Italian, and still she felt completely part of the group and enjoying and participating without any risk. I mean, what I have to say is a comment on Francesca. I'm a fan, I honestly, because I saw her at work. I'm a fan because I saw, again, putting together different levels, and every morning she gave you some input on what you were going to do during the day. So since you're in an Italian class, you can talk about anything, to use the conversation or whatever. She picks every time a topic that will make your trip more interesting. So if you go to Siena, if you go, Ambrogio Lorenzetti or the Duomo or other, that there is so much beauty. And I noticed that when you know a little more, when you go to a place, you enjoy it better. And so she, without making a class on art history, but incorporates this. So that's why there is a very good merging of the two things. And again, we always try to balance the, every day you will do something. Every day you'll go see a town, taste some wine, do some, multiple activities. And you will be, once you see the itinerary is rich of things to do, but at the same time gives you gives you also time to rest. So it's very balanced. It's very balanced.
And also for the Italian class, I confess, last year I didn't know what to expect. So I said, and if they are all different level, maybe we do 1 hour with some, and then it all worked. But then, because everybody was interested in some grammar, but we do it in a fun way, not a annoying, boring way. So, and it worked, but then it depends from what the group wants. I mean, we are flexible and adapt to.
But you did a genius job of reminding us of important parts of grammar that were forgotten in our minds years ago. And so it was perfect, refresher.
Oh, that's good. That's good. No, because Craig attended our advanced classes reading Dante originally. So this lecture all in Italian. I was attending too as an Italian to review the Divine Comedy. And so I was a little worried. I said, they'll get bored at the advanced level. But no, nobody seemed to get bored. I said, that's right. So a good review that helps everybody. So, but we'll see. I mean, we'll adapt with the audience and whatever the students want or do not want.
So this is in a nutshell a little bit the program, but it's more articulate. But just to give you an idea, so the first day we tend to stay at home because sometimes people are jet lagged, and also it's a country place with a lot of space. We walk around, we show you the vegetable garden, the olive grove. We walk around, and then you go to this lovely place that is Trequanda, this mini small town, and where there is a gourmet fantastic restaurant, very inexpensive, like all the places there, but really special with this terrace that has also a beautiful view. So you familiarize with the place, and then on Monday there is the visit Pienza. So you have a little bit of art and architecture with a guide, and you visit Pienza, as I was saying, the perfect city. And because they're close, and this is the famous Val d'Orcia, which is when you see photos of Tuscany with the cypresses, it's always the Val d'Orcia. This area extremely beautiful. In fact, just the drive is beautiful. So we connected Pienza with the Brunello wine tasting because they are on the way. And then on Tuesday last year we went to Monte Pulciano. So this year we'll go to San Gimignano. And again, we'll do, in the morning, you'll do the class, and in the afternoon, you will go to San Gimignano. So we split the time in which you rest, do the class, and you go out. Then the Wednesday is the Fattoria Majnoni Guicciardini, that are our family estate visit with the food and combination that many people loved and Francesca was mentioning. And Thursday is Siena. And again, Siena, but also imagine staying at the villa, swimming, going out, coming back, always with not always the same guide. So it's also a little more articulate in that sense. And then in the morning, Friday is maybe the most intense day, because in the morning you go to a so, and then you have the cooking class and then the dinner. So this is a little bit in a nutshell. Then we can give you more details, but to see, so you practically see the best of Tuscany and still manage to rest yourself. So this is my family. This is my family. It's myself, my husband, who will be there. Our son and daughter are those sitting next to us, and they just got married last year. So we are now a family of 6. And so we're all together here, and our kids actually did help us with the vision, with the organization, with the website. They were present as much as they could, and as I told you, the family's Marchesi is a title that is above Count and below Duke, just for you to know. So you should call me Signora Marchesa from now on, would be appropriate. So so just to give you again a little bit of a flavor of what happens. So once you agreed on this itinerary that Francesca and I put together, it's essential you don't think of anything else. You just go with the flow. We pick you up. We have 2 fantastic drivers who will come and pick you up at the airport, will take us home, will accompany you to all activities. Their English is very basic, but they manage to communicate equally. And nonetheless, and so we have this beautiful buffet, and you take a tray and you go under the gazebo and the morning is generally there are many favorite times, but you know, the morning is a big hit because it's very pleasant and people can talk. We talk about the, you know, the events, what's going to happen next, and it's a beautiful time to spend together. And again, as I was saying, the ICS week is just you. You may not know each other, but you have common interests, so you are still a group, a cohesive group. And
everybody got along very well.
yes, last year was really lovely.
It always be like this.
Yes,
It was a group,
yes.
stage, different. But I mean, we all got along. Everybody had something in common.
Yes, no,
it was
when you
amazing.
have something, some interest in common, it comes and makes the group very, you know, very pleasant. That's what happened exactly.
Yeah.
And since everybody tells me it's too hot in Tuscany, I read it on Google. Don't go to Tuscany in August. The last week of August is actually a perfect weather. It's generally in the 80s, low 80s, and again at the villa you have a breeze, so when you stay there outside is perfect, and it's not too cold because people who come at the end of September that they think that they got the best week, they cannot swim. It's too cold because our swimming pool is too big. So even if it's heated, it's not heated enough, so you freeze. And because it's cold there, it's on top of a hill. It's not so. Yes, may happen that if you go to Siena in the middle of the day, that 1 hour will be hot, but not unbearably. So it's actually a very, very good week. And of course, with the you will start the lessons in September. So it's a must. But I mean, it's very pleasant. So I would like to invite my guest.
Something.
Oh, yes, sorry.
Actually, this year, instead of Arezzo, we decided, but it can be decided among the participants.
All
but
right.
this year, we decided to give two options. One option was a visit to Abbazia di Monte Oliveto, Maggiore Monastery.
Yes.
Option 2, spa. Alle Terme di San Giovanni. Ticket and use of heated pools and facility included. Treatments such as massage or facials not included and must be booked in advance.
All right. If you want to, if you pick the spa, it's included the use of the facility, the pools, everything. And but if you want to have a massage or a facial or whatever, then you book it separately. That area is also on top of everything. Besides the wine and all the rest, is also famous because it has hot springs, natural hot springs, and actually people go there to be cured. And also, guess what? Has an amazing view, that one, to the spa too. So that's something common in our area.
Yeah, or a more cultural day at the monastery.
Yes, and I'm sorry, I actually didn't edit that. She was right. Because we wanted
prefers to go to Arezzo, we can still change it.
Yeah, but they're all
You
beautiful.
haven't given yourself credit enough for the job you had done in curating this week, because, for example,
Come over here.
one of the best meals I ever had was
Come over here because I want everybody to hear you, not just because this is the testimonials.
Well, it is a testimonial because it was one of the greatest weeks of my life anyway. And the best part for me was one meal in particular. The place was called La Divina. It had a beautiful view of the valley, and it was a tasting menu. And I have never eaten. There were 5 or 6 different courses, and each one was a delicacy. It was just amazing. 12 courses? Okay.
Well, yeah, not crazy expensive.
No.
That they did.
These were all places that we met a couple there, or a table of people who we said, how did you ever find this place? We had a guide who organized it for us, but and she said, well, we stumbled on it a few years ago by luck. And so, I mean, just amazing. And all the other meals we ate out were in wonderful restaurants. One in particular, I will never forget, which was a place where musicians were trained in in Siena.
La Chigiana,
And-
l'Accademia Chigiana.
And we were in, you could eat outdoors, and we chose not to do that. And we went indoors, and there were these amazing projections on the wall, changing at all times, of the famous musicians in Italy.
famous Accademia di Musica.
And it was just astonishing. So, I mean, there's nothing that wasn't great about the week. And we had so much fun as a group. You're crazy if you don't do this. That's what it boils down to. It's reasonably priced. I mean, it's just a wonderful time. So that's all I have to say.
Are really well selected.
Oh, yeah.
I have to
Well.
say, because they are not crazy expensive. They are not
No.
expensive.
No,
and
that's
quality
is the
is
only thing that is not included at the restaurants, because if we paid it in advance and give you a fixed menu, we take away all the fun. There are some people who are vegan and only want some spinach, others who want the steak and the Brunello. It's impossible. So everything is included, is in the price, except, but the restaurants there are inexpensive.
once a
So
day. Breakfast always in the villa.
yeah, and or either lunch or dinner always at the villa. So they're, but there we chose them with the.
Yes,
with
everything was
sure.
curated for us.
You come over.
Explain my favorite.
Come over.
which
Come
one
over.
You both read.
Oh, I
Ah,
see.
It's right, then the final night. So
Yes, in the final
in
night,
the
if someone likes to read a poem, to do something, because Craig is very passionate about Dante, he read a piece, and I told him I actually took some acting classes when I was young, so I could read Dante with a little more, but in Italian. But I read it in Italian, and it was fun.
She read the story of Paolo and Francesca, or part of it, and which is glorious Italian and
yeah.
poetry. It's brilliant poetry.
So I mean, there is always space for creativity for other groups. For example, we have a collaboration with a World Bank group, and one lady was singing, and she said, "Do you have a guitar?" I said, "Yes." So people started singing. So there are opportunities for people to express themselves, because they feel free, they feel like at home, and we give, my husband and I are not coming with you to all the activities. Mostly you go with the guides, with the drivers. But for example, we go with you from time to time, and we join you often at the dinners or lunches at the villa. And so there are always a lot of questions. And so you feel more like you're invited by a family. You're not in an hotel. We wanted to give you this kind of combination of hotel-like comfort, but at the same time, a place where you are invited, like our parents and grandparents used to have a lot of friends over, so we want to keep
Exactly. Yes, that's
Well,
what
and the other thing to remember is that you're getting the benefit of being on a cruise ship, because you don't have to pick up your luggage and move to the next town every day.
right.
So that is a huge bonus of coming to the villa for a week and having everything arranged for you. So it's just wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you. Great. You want to come over, since you just said.
I'm just
Okay.
throwing things that you can say.
Okay, so this is testimonials, and so I don't know if you wanna read about the offer, or to explain the costs and these things, or it's enough because you put it in your website.
So yeah, 5,300 doesn't include the flight. Oh,
Doesn't include
yeah.
the flight, because the activity, the activities that you are very expensive. Normally a vacation like this, if you check the market, is twice as much. So we keep it at cost, essentially. So the drivers, the van, the guides, the museums, all the you have daily housekeeping, so you are treated like in an hotel. I only ask not to change the sheets because of water, for Alan.
One thing you didn't mention is, this was particularly in Florence, which is not in your plans now, but the fact that we never had to wait in a line. And you would approach a museum and you would see, especially in Florence, which was a different trip, but you would see like 100 people in a line, and we would just And the guide would
And
just
our
go, oh, no, you
privileged.
don't, we go in this way.
Yeah, this is part. I don't know if the people online could hear it because we don't have a microphone so far. We only have the speaker of the computer. So what Alan was saying, that is part of what we do, but I take it so for granted. But we're in selecting the guides, etc. We also selected guides who are able to skip the lines, you know, to make you not make you wait, and just because they know their experience and they know how to treat you, not like the common. That's why when some people tell me, but can I come and stay at the villa and then I decide myself what I want to do day by day? I say, well, you will find all the Brunello sold out and you cannot taste it. All the museums sold out. You have to stay in line for hours. You have to find the parking. I mean, if you want to do it, go somewhere else, because to my guests, I won't let them live this miserable life. And so the people who come to our place will have a great vacation, and they will just be treated, you know, very, very nicely.
I wanted you to add one more thing.
Yes.
Which anyone who has been there will comment on, is the armored, what do you call them?
Felipe.
Felipe.
Okay, well, my father not only collected antique books, but he also collected antique arms, and we had a room full of arms, but they were stolen in the 70s, because my father was going there only in the weekend. He lived in Rome. And but we have an armor, and since my father bought it at an auction in Spain, he called him Felipe. So when people come the first time, say, what is that? Because, you know, it's a little intimidating, and we say, it's Felipe, just say hi, you know, it's our friend. And at the end, everybody, Felipe, let's take a photo. How are you doing? So it's a little part of the folklore. So what I was saying is that all transportation, every initiative, everything is included, except for the meals at the restaurants that are not that many, and again are done on purpose, so you can choose what you like. And you know, the cooking class, the daily, you are served, you know, you have daily housekeeping, all the breakfast, all the lunches and dinners at the villa, served with wine, everything included. And again, most of all, all the transportation from the moment you land, you are taken care of, and then you are taken back to your airplane. And so what I was saying is everything is included except for the meals at restaurant. And if you want to have a massage or a facial or whatever, you know, a special service from the spa. Since this year there is the option of the spa, but you also can go somewhere else. Generally, the women want to go to the spa and the men don't want to go. So there is the split between the monastery and the spa. And so, you know, you will never have to think of buying tickets, or you have all these all these activities I described. They're all included in this cost, which is really at cost, you know, because again, we wanted to keep this house alive. We wanted to have friends, and we really made many new friends with this activity. And it's not even open for a long time. We stay open less than 2 months a year. So I mean, this is really lucky niche. So we have this website, and the cost for the general public is 4,200 because they don't have the Italian lessons. So the little bit more is because this is a very important service that we provide with this. So if you see a mini discrepancy in the prices, because we thought it was only fair to contribute to the Italian Cultural Society in general.
And usually our 10 courses are more expensive than
so I mean, so it's actually, she's giving you a big discount on top of that. So, you know, and now questions?
Yeah, few things, 2 things I wanted to say. One, that usually people came and added other experiences, no? There was just one that landed the same day to come just at Villa Bonizella.
Yes,
down where
sometimes
Florence.
go to Florence and then they come,
And
yes.
also we combine this trip also with a trip organized by Bethesda Travel that starts the day that the Villa Bonizella tour ends. So if you want to combine like somebody did and stay 2 weeks or more in Italy, actually Bethesda Travel can arrange the flight, because in the Bethesda Travels trip, flight is included, so you can they can arrange the flight for you to arrive for the experience in Tuscany, and then organize a transfer, right? Like you did, Craig. Yeah. And
Excuse me.
Yes.
Do you mean they have a trip that's already set, or they'll
Yes.
do whatever you
No.
want?
There is
There
another
is a trip in Friuli
Their own.
Venezia Giulia this year. So there is
Is
one now for
in a
Easter,
different
they're
region.
going to Sicily.
Nice.
Then in September, just actually starting the 30th, starting the 30th of August until the 8th of September in Friuli Venezia Giulia. So I'll give you also the flyer for that.
Back to back.
Back to back, because I mean, so if you want to save the time to organize the most interesting things to see and find out how to reserve the museums of the most interesting, and find out where are the most the best restaurants, and so that's being in vacation, because somebody who knows what they're doing, they select all the best for you. And I'm not from Tuscany, and so wow, I thought, oh, good. These seem to be really the best selection of restaurants, guides, and things to do, because it requires so much time if you don't know where we are going to find all the best to see in an area.
Is there any reason, I don't know, but is there any reason why it wouldn't work if I want to do this with you and then go do some other travel?
Oh, yes, many people do it.
Okay.
Many people do it. Many people come to us and then they go, they go on their
Wherever,
own to
Spain.
Venice or to Spain. Yes, it happened.
Not during that week. I mean,
At the end
Right,
of the
right.
week,
Yes,
yeah, back
yes,
to
yes,
back,
yes.
instead of doing
exactly.
the other
See
Italian Cultural Society trip, you
everybody.
can do whatever you like. You can go to.
It is important to tell people that when they arrive, it's best if you pick them up, if Villa Bonizella picks you up at the train station or at the airport.
See,
Mhm.
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
That's important.
Not
Yes,
some-
yes.
Some other
Train
place.
Yeah.
station in Florence is the easiest. We all met there because somebody was already in Florence. Because
Right.
if you want to visit
So it
Florence,
is allowed.
you come a few
It's
days
not.
earlier and stay in Florence. And so I arrived at the train station in Florence, and somebody else was they were Joe and his Janet arrived from their long trip.
Yes.
They stayed 2 months in Europe, and so we all met at the train station in Florence, and then also the driver dropped us there, and somebody to the airport, somebody took the train, and
Yeah, so when I say only the airport of Florence, I mean, don't tell me pick me up in Milan.
Right.
Or in Rome. But if it is the train station or the airport is fine.
Mhm.
Yeah.
In some cases, all decide to go to an hotel. If they're all in one hotel, my drivers manage to go anywhere. I don't know how they do it, because I know that Florence is forbidden all the way. And they say, no, you can apply for a special permit, and they know all these tricks, so they can take you to because the Santa Maria Novella, the train station in Florence is really in the center of the city. They manage to go. So that's another thing to know, Brava. Sì.
Esatto. So we all met there in a specific restaurant. I mean, we managed. I have to see the chat where we met. That was an easy place because we all met. So I have to see where we met last year. That worked.
Francesca,
Yes, another thing we
Francesca.
do actually, we set a WhatsApp chat, which is helpful because you can use it in Europe. is like texting, but internationally, and is free whenever you have Wi-Fi, and there is Wi-Fi almost in our villa. There is a very strong Wi-Fi. Once we had 12 people working at the same time. That we had a group of people, tech people from California, that were working all the time and saying, I'm making millions or I'm losing millions on Bitcoins. And it's like, work. And none of them complained because the internet was slow. So, so that just to let you know, it's rural, but not that rural. We have internet, we have AC, we have all these kind of, tech world comforts, because I cannot live without myself in the first place.
Yeah. But you are on top of the hill, so you don't hear anything, just the crickets. I actually slept with the window open without air conditioning, because for me it was a perfect temperature, and I liked
The only thing we have really forgotten to mention is exactly how beautiful the Tuscan countryside is, that you get to drive through and see from a million different angles. And to say nothing of the view from the villa itself, which is incredible.
Yeah, the view from the villa is beautiful. Beautiful sunset every time for dinner. After you swim with the sunset, and you get ready and have dinner by the
That was gonna be my first question when there was some picture in the background. Does it really look like that?
Yes.
It actually looks better. It looks better.
better.
It looks better than that. It looks better than that. I'm selling myself short.
Yeah, no,
Francesca.
because it's all authentic.
They agree.
If you want to find on Google Maps, you have to, the only place that I think you can really find is Asciano, right?
Yeah, in Google
You wanna
Maps.
see where in Tuscany it is.
Yeah, it's hard to
Look at the
find on Google Maps
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
because
You won't
it's
find Villa Bonizella.
perfect for celebrities. In case you don't want paparazzi, that's the best place.
Yeah, it's really
I know it's a
private.
top priority for you. Yeah.
It's really
Francesca.
private in the middle of nowhere, but close to everything interesting. So nobody will find you, but we'll find the things
Exactly.
and
Dirt road.
places.
Yes, it's a dirt road. Yeah, the last tract is really.
A question from you at home. It's now the time, and so then we can say goodbye and and let you go. And then as soon as the presentation, the recording is ready, we'll send it to you. Questions? No questions from home.
Yes, sì.
Question?
Io sono Tommaso Marchetto. Io parlo un po' di Italiano, so I speak in English.
Yeah.
I've taken several courses from ICS over the last 2 years, Italian courses with different teachers. But I'm interested in knowing about the immersion course that you teach there as part of the package. I mean, because I have different levels that I've taken through you, through your organization.
Yeah, what we did last year was like a review from day one, from the pronunciation to the structure of the language. So to manage it. So like the basic of the grammars in a fast pace so that everybody can follow and not get bored. So we found a way to do a grammar review, and then also some readings for more advanced level students, so that they didn't so that they discovered new vocabulary, especially new content, because we talked about Siena and some art history. But we review the grammar, so we review from the article, the verbs, past tense, and everybody was in agreement. And hopefully also this year or else we can split in different groups. There will find also this year the way to manage the classes. But everybody needs a review usually, and so it's a good time I found a way. They are saying yes here in the audience who attended my class. So,
Grazie.
Prego. Altre domande? Qui, abbiamo una domanda qui.
I'm realizing I would be in Tuscany. I could spend easily all day in an art museum. Could I do that? And then, or do I really need to be part of the whole plan?
There is a level of flexibility. So I I cannot organize, you know, a different day for everyone.
Right.
But for example, let's make an example. There is a very beautiful collegiata, a beautiful church full of frescoes in San Gimignano. And you go there with a guide. And you see the collegiata and you can totally say, I want to stay here longer. And I'll meet you in the piazza in 1 hour. Because we give this flexibility. Like, you know, my daughter told me, Mom, give always people space for shopping. And so people can say, I want to go shopping, I want to stay in the cathedral, I want to. There is this level of flexibility. My guides are intelligent people. So, I mean, they manage to have the common sense, even though, you know, again, it would be a mistake to split all the time because this has been curated for a reason. But at the same time, if there is a moment in which you really want to absorb the art, I would say that, you know, the guides would love it because
if you just want to go to the Uffizi, okay, you don't need us. You just need to reserve a ticket and spend all day at the Uffizi all day. But if you want to see particular things, and then in Siena, you can decide when everybody leaves the church and you want to stay longer, you stay longer. And we say,
I think you can.
Because both the guide and I'm there, and we are all in a chat. And so then we'll meet. So you can go somewhere else while we are in a city and spend more time shopping or in a church or seeing an extra museum instead of joining everybody for lunch. You can skip the restaurant and have a gelato and go see a museum instead of going to the restaurant.
I'm glad I asked. Thank
because,
you.
See, absolutely.
Please.
The important is we have one driver.
Don't miss the bus.
Pick up time, be there.
Because there is nobody going in Villa Bonizella. Nobody knows that exists. So
But the guides will find you.
But the worst scenario, you can pay your own taxi and say, "Hey, I want to stay here 2 more hours." I don't know,
but I mean, the places.
You probably want, but I'm sure.
Sorry, the places that you will visit are relatively small. So if you say in Siena, we'll meet you in Piazza del Campo in front of this restaurant, you will find each other. And again, San Gimignano, you go up a hill and down the hill, there are only 2 streets. I mean, if someone wants to do something that has a meaning, I mean, because anybody who will tell our guides, I want to stay and absorb art more, I think they'll love it. I mean, it's not something, it is not something that will be rejected in any way. Or, you know, some people say, I want to get the best ice cream. I said, you'll get it. I mean, there is this level of flexibility in a context in which we set it up in a way we think you see the best of that place.
Thank you.
Exactly. I don't think you need it. But like in Siena, for example, there is time. And everywhere, if you don't want to join the group at the restaurant and just walk, or why not? That everybody pays at the restaurant for a reason. So if you want to skip that. But it's worth to follow
At the end, people don't split much. But it's good to know that you can. I think it's very important to know that it's not, you know, a military school.
One more question, unless somebody else has.
Yes.
You guys mentioned Florence before, but we don't going to
Florence.
Florence, sorry, I understood Provence because I put you in this French, you know. We simply didn't do it this time because we noticed that most of the people stayed in Florence, like before coming, they were staying 3-4 days in Florence and then coming. So they, following a little bit what people's feedback, guest feedback, we put more secret places rather than Florence. But
and enjoy the villa. I mean, if you want to visit Florence, stay in Florence. This is like the experience. I would go. A few people did. They stayed 3 days in Florence before or after the week in the villa.
But there is if you look at the website, there is an itinerary that's called the classic itinerary that includes Florence. So if you want to come some other time, I can see when we do classic the classic itinerary, because we have secret, classic, relax and explore, because there were some people telling us, I don't want to do too much, I want to rest. So there is the more active, the less active. There are different options because we want to curate it really on what people want. So if you want the classic itinerary and you don't want to come this week, there is an option. I just have to see when. I have to look at my database.
Another question from home. Let's see. Okay, thank you very much for the information you shared. Much appreciated. Okay.
Thank you,
How
Mother.
far is the villa from Florence? It's about 2 hours, right?
1 hour,
1 hour and a half.
1 hour and 1 hour and a half, 1 hour 15.
Depends from the traffic.
Depending on the
1 hour,
traffic. Yeah, it's not 2 hours, it's less. Yeah.
It's less than 2 hours, right? Okay, so goodbye to everybody from home, and thank you for listening, and
thank you to our guests who have shared their experience, who came last year.
ok.
Grazie Francesca.
Grazie a voi, ciao.
Grazie, ciao.
Buona serata.